Okay, let's dive into something called the attraction reset formula. This is all about what to do in that moment. You know the one, when you feel a relationship and that spark just starting to cool off.
It is just a gut-wrenching feeling, isn't it? It has to be one of the most painful, confusing things we go through in a relationship. You just feel that shift, that little change in the energy, and suddenly everything feels so off balance.
And what's your first instinct, right? You want to pull them closer. You want to fix it. Because of course you do. You care. So you try harder. You text more. You do, well, everything you can possibly think of to close that gap and get back to how things were. It feels like the only logical thing to do.
But here's the crazy part. What if that's the one thing, the only thing, that's actually pushing them further away? Yeah, that's the paradox we're going to dig into. The idea that your best intentions, your most natural reactions, could be backfiring. It sounds totally counterintuitive, I know, but trust me, understanding this is the absolute key to turning it all around.
So, let's talk about that slipping away feeling. First things first, it's real. It is not in your head. And it's almost never one big dramatic thing, right? It's more like a slow burn, just 100 tiny moments of disconnection that start to add up.
You know where you probably notice it first? The texts, right? Those long, enthusiastic paragraphs, they turn into one-word answers. Okay, cool. The good morning texts just stop. You can literally feel the effort drain with every single message that lands with a thud instead of that old spark.
And it's not just the texts. The physical stuff changes too. Kisses that used to be so passionate, now they just feel routine, like something to check off a list. That warmth, that feeling of real presence you used to get from his touch, it starts to feel so distant, even when he's sitting right there next to you.
And this is where the internal battle really starts. Your gut is screaming at you that something is wrong, something has shifted. But your brain just doesn't want to admit it. Because if you say it out loud, if you actually name it, well, that makes it real, and that is absolutely terrifying.
Listen to this. Wow. That just perfectly captures the whole cycle, doesn't it? You try to fix things by giving more, and what does he do? He pulls back even more. It creates this vicious feedback loop of anxiety and distance that feels like you can never, ever break it.
So, okay, let's really get into why this happens. Why does chasing drain attraction? Why does our natural instinct to get closer have the exact opposite effect? Well, it all comes down to the fundamental nature of desire itself.
Think about it. Attraction needs a little bit of mystery, a little bit of space. It thrives on choice. But when you're chasing, you accidentally kill all of that. You replace desire with pressure. He starts feeling like he has to respond, not that he wants to. And that just crushes any real desire to connect. You become predictable, not magnetic. And worst of all, your chasing actually confirms his feeling that he needs more distance. It just makes him want to pull back even more.
But check this out. This is our first clue to the real solution. It's not about doing more stuff. It's about doing less. That silence, that absence you create, it's like a vacuum. It finally gives him the space to notice what's missing. And what's missing is you.
So that's the big question, isn't it? If chasing doesn't work, what does? If our instincts are totally wrong here, what's the right move? Where are we supposed to put all this energy?
The answer is this one. Powerful shift in your focus. It's a concept called anchoring. And here's the thing that's going to change everything for you. This isn't about him at all. It's about you.
This chart says it all. This is the paradigm shift. You stop trying to manage his feelings, and you start anchoring your own. You stop trying to fix his silence, and you start creating your own calm. And you completely stop trying to prove your worth to him, and instead, you start reconnecting with yourself. It's a total flip from an outward focus to an inward one.
And what you're creating when you do this is something we call emotional breathing room. It's the space a man needs to regulate himself and process his feelings, without feeling pressured or chased. A lot of the time, when a guy pulls away, it's not even a rejection of you. It's just how he deals with stress. He's trying to process his own stuff, and when you chase, you accidentally take away the very space he needs to do that.
I really want you to let this one sink in. He isn't running from you, he's trying to regulate himself. Seriously, just reframing it like that can make so much of your anxiety just melt away. It's not personal. He's not trying to escape you, he's just trying to find his own balance. And when you give him the space to do that, you suddenly become a safe harbor for him, instead of another storm he has to deal with.
Okay, so we get the idea behind anchoring. Now let's get practical. Here is the actual three-phase plan, the attraction reset formula to rebuild that desire without completely losing yourself in the process.
It's a three-phase reset. Simple. First, you pause. That means you stop all chasing. No more just checking in texts, no more trying to figure out his mood. This creates that breathing room. Second, you recalibrate. You take all that nervous, anxious energy and you pour it back into yourself, your hobbies, your friends, your own peace of mind. And finally, phase 3, reignite. You can now re-engage, but you're coming from a totally different place, a place of strength and presence, not neediness and anxiety.
And this really gets to the heart of it. This is the absolute core truth. The most attractive thing in the world isn't needing someone, it's being whole on your own. That self-contained confidence, that's what's magnetic. That's what creates the pull.
So what does this actually look like in your day-to-day life? How does this shift really transform your connection? Because when you really start to live this, to embody this new reality, the entire dynamic of your relationship starts to change in very real, tangible ways.
Just look at this table, from anxious chasing to anchored confidence. The old you would try to fix every silence. The new you trust the connection. The old pattern was to chase his attention. The new reality is to create your own calm. Instead of reacting to his distance, you respond from a place of self-respect. You're literally moving from an energy of anxiety to one of quiet, solid confidence. And let me tell you, he is going to feel that shift more powerfully than any words you could ever say.
I love this quote. Isn't that a great way to think about it? It's so reassuring. Because all relationships, especially long-term ones, have these cycles. You have times of closeness and times of distance. It's totally natural. The panic only sets in when we're afraid that the tide going out is permanent, but it almost never is.
When you're chasing, you're basically fighting the current, right? You're trying to force the tide to come back in. But when you stop, when you just anchor yourself and let the tide do its thing, you allow that natural pull to just come back, all on its own.
And in the end, that's what this all boils down to. You can't control the tide. You can't control his feelings or his need for space. But you can choose how you navigate it. You have 100% control over your own response. So what will you choose? The panic of the chase or the power of being the anchor? The choice is always yours.